to be prepared for the overflow for those
Right.
5 sponsors.
Right.
You need to start planning with your team to do something online because these parents are looking for options.
Yeah.
My inbox get full every day. I have to sift and sort because I used to be a teacher too.
Yeah.
So you need to be prepared for the overflow and capacity and have the people in place to help you serve because the influx is coming through this crisis.
Yeah.
And as y'all solving problems, as y'all providing resources, and as you giving, God is going to send the financial resources when we come out of this. Because guess what? They ain't going to enjoy what you do in this time, and they're going to want to stay with you after it's over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now Dr. Britt, now tell the folks in this post video show about your passion again and want to get this CSI thing going.
Well, a lot of people don't know, but I used to be a correction officer.
No,
Yes.
no, I ain't believing it.
She
Yes.
has the demeanor for it.
Yes. I worked at Whacking Hut, and we would take the inmates throughout the hospital on their appointments and things like that. Yes, I carried a 45. Yes.
Get it, girl. Get it.
And we would not only sit on adults, but we would sit on children as well. And my youngest inmate was like 9 years old. And just speaking with that child, you can tell that he didn't have any kind of educational background, and you know, all he did was stay in trouble. So from right there, I said that this is not my passion, as far as being a correction officer, teaching and making sure that they are aware of the criminal justice system was my passion. So I decided to drop that and get into teaching, and I'm here now as a college teacher, teaching criminal justice and CSI, and as a high school, teaching the same thing. So I love what I do.
Wow.
And thank you for sharing your story. If you don't mind, tell the viewing audience one more time, how do they find you?
They can find me at CSIFantasticLab.com.
Fantastic.
And you can reach me at 904-909-0025.
That's good.
And I'm an Ed Waters College alumni.
What? So am I. EWC in the house.
You know? Wow. Now, Chef Hollandaise. All right. Now, you said you like to cook, golf, and something else. What was the third one?
Travel, cook, and play golf.
Travel, cook, and play golf.
Yeah.
That order.
In that order.
In that order.
Yeah, because golf doesn't make me money. Golf is just my pleasure.
Yeah.
But traveling and cooking makes my money. Golf is just something I do to. It's my getaway.
It's your self-love.
It doesn't. I don't get too competitive with it. If I hit a ball in the water, I just drop another one to keep it pushing. The other thing I've been doing, you mentioned talking about hurricane season. I teach people how to get ready for hurricane season because it's so amazing to me that people will get ready and prepare for their birthday, their anniversary, Christmas, all this, but not hurricane season. But just like your anniversary, hurricane season comes the same time every year.
Yeah.
They show up the same time.
Yes, it does.
And sometimes it's light, sometimes it's heavy, but you always have no power. And you run out and like, oh my God, we ain't got bread, we ain't got water, we ain't got this. And you overspend. So to stop people from overspending, I tell them this. You're standing in line trying to fight over water. Go get 5-gallon buckets from Lowe's or whatever, fill them up with water. Now you got 25 gallons of water sitting in your house. And most people have a water filter in their house, in their refrigerator. Now, I'm old school. I drink out of a garden hose, so follow me. But those are the type of things I do. I'm the type of guy that I have a water filter where I can take a regular water bottle, go to a pond, scoop water in there, put the filter on it and drink it, and I'm good. And it filters 100,000 gallons of water. Now, you don't need 100,000 gallons of water, but it's nice to have.
Right.
You know, I teach them how to cook outdoors. Some people think that on a grill, the only thing you can cook is meat on the grill.
What else can you do on grill?
Oh, man.
Carrots.
Listen.
Man,
But it's not even that. It's not even that.
Grill.
It's
You
not
can
even
cook
the vegetables.
almost.
What they don't realize is that grill is now turned into, You can make rice on there. You can make your grits. Now, me, I take it further because I'm a little special. Because
Just put a pan on
well,
it.
see, I go camping.
I love camping. That's what I say.
So like I cook in Dutch ovens. I love my cast iron Dutch ovens. I also have a grill where I set up, build a fire on top of it, and I can cook my bacon and everything outside. I've also can cook in the ash, so I get a lot of food. Wrap it up in aluminum foil, throw ash on it, cool. Get a whole fish, wrap it in banana leaves, throw it in the ash and cook it like that. So you don't need JEA because what I call them is light switch people. If the light switch don't work when you do that, you're lost. But yet you make $100,000 a year, but your light don't come on, you're lost. The other thing I tell people this too is you need to go walking. Because even though you got this brand new Land Rover, all the roads are flooded, streets can't get nowhere, how you gonna get from point A to point B?
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it from survival and practical application. But where did you find this shoving thing? Like, did you get it from grandma? Did you get it from granddaddy?
Man, people always ask me, how to get started cooking. I tell them the first time I got beat up.
Oh, shucks. Then you started wrestling.
So I've
He was
always
like, I'm not this good at this. Let me cook you.
So I've always been the shortest person in the neighborhood and wherever. And the kids would let me play in the sports because I was a little runt of the neighborhood. So I would go in the house. My mom was like, "What's the problem?" It's like, well, they won't let me play in the sports. So my mom and grandmother said, "Well, come in the house and hang out with us, and one day you'll find something everybody wants you to be a part of." Well, as I got older, not taller, but older, I ran into home ec. And I never took home ec, but I became smarter because I've been put in trash cans, dumpsters, the whole 9 yards. But I found a way to stop the bullies from picking on me. That was, if you were picking on me, I would teach her how to do her home ec class. So she would tell you not to beat me up. You ain't gonna listen to me, but your girlfriend you listen to.
That's smart. That's smart.
This dude right here.
That's smart.
This dude right here.
So hard, all the girls like, leave him alone. He helped us with our cookies and all this stuff here.
Oh.
Boom. I got that way. Then I didn't start wrestling. I got to high school.
Okay.
And when I got to high school, because I was so angry because I kept getting cut for everything, the wrestling coach came up to me and stopped me in the hallway to ask me to wrestle, and I went off on him. Literally just went off. It's like, you ain't want to hire me. He said, calm down, little fella. Calm down. And he convinced me to wrestle. And I've been wrestling ever since. So it's been, and cooking for me has been my a safe haven because all the guys like, oh man, nothing but women cook and da. Cool, appreciate that. So I come in the kitchen and I'm cooking, and then I teach kids how to cook. And I teach kids how to cook at the YMCA on Cleveland Road.
Okay.
And one of the things I tell those kids all the time is, I want you to see somebody who looks like you, who grew up where you grew up. Because I used to live on Cleveland Road. I used to live about 6 blocks from there. I went to high school in the same area. And it was so important for me so they could see somebody who looked like them. And I always tell people this, when I talk to the kids, I say, I'm the perfect person to talk to these kids. Because one, I didn't graduate the top of the class. Missed the bottom by 4. So I still was able to make an amazing life for myself through cooking. Mm-hmm. And cooking is not just cooking because you have to learn math. Right. You have to learn all these other skills that I tried to avoid in high school. I was like, I ain't got to do math, but every time I turn around, how many ounces are in a pound? How do you break a pound down to 4 people? You have to know these things. So when they talk to me and ask me questions, and I, like the kids at the YMCA, I always tell them, give them something to Google. They Google all kinds of stuff, and they're like, wow, I never knew that. And that's what I want them to understand, that the research that they can do is right on their hip. Mm-hmm. It's not all about TikTok and all these other things. Mm-hmm. There's information on their phone. Yeah. So I teach them how to make simple dishes, because I don't want them to be a chef. That's not my issue. My thing is, I just want them to be able to cook a decent meal and not burn down their parents' home.
I didn't always do that a couple times.
So, it's those kind of things. And when they ask me questions, some of the questions they ask me, they're not sure how my first question is, where do you want to live at? They said, what do you mean? I said, let's say you want to make six figures. You make $100,000. You know, $100,000. Where you want to live at? I want to live in New York. You're going to have 2 roommates. They're like, what do you mean? I said, New York is expensive. Chicago, Seattle, all these big cities are expensive. Now you take the 100,000 to come down south. Now you're doing something.
Yeah.
You know, and then they don't know. I keep talking about marketing, talking about branding, the biggest thing I always tell them is, the easiest thing is to get a reputation. The hardest thing is to maintain it. Because what you do, when you get these football players that you look up to, these basketball players, you don't realize, even the teachers, the same thing the teachers have, the football players and basketball players have, it's a moral clause. So you may work for the school board from 9 to 3, but you represent them 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's the same thing these athletes do. And these kids don't know that. No one's told them that.
And I want to interject this. I talked to a Navy commander or something like that. He said one of the toughest things for him is that these guys that are supposed to make chief, make officer, make commander or lieutenant, they get written up for stuff that they do after hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
They get discharged for stuff that they didn't do while they were on duty because of that moral, that character, that conduct, that influence, that circle that they can't break from, or they allow to have too much influence.
And in the military, there are rules for everything. There's a rule for an officer and enlisted person to if you're an officer and you invite an enlisted person to your house, there are rules on how that enlisted person is supposed to act. There's rules for everything. But everybody's, well, I'm a commander or I'm a lieutenant or I'm a first class, I can do what I want to do. No. Because what they don't realize, what you do in civilian life, it hurts you more while you're in the military. Because one thing you never want to do in the military is get a big chicken dinner. They call it a big chicken dinner. It's a bad combat discharge.
Big chicken.
Yeah.
This dude turned everything. He's turned everything.
No, that's not my term. Look,
I don't want a big chicken dinner.
everybody in the military know about the big chicken dinner. But it's like I said, it's that moral thing that you get in trouble with. You may be a great officer, a great teacher, or whatever. But when you start doing things that not representing the industry well, you're gonna get hit.
And I was listening to you, and all of that is pertinent, especially for entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah.
That's why I said the quote earlier about Gandhi. Your habits determine your values.
What?
So whatever habits you got, if they not good habits, guess what? Your values gonna be bad values.
As a chef, somebody that's in the food business, restaurants and private chefs are different. And here's why. Restaurants, everybody come to your place and they don't really know who's back there. But as a private chef,
You are your brand.
but here's the thing, you never know where your client is coming from.
Exactly.
You may go to the gas station, you may go to Walmart, you may go to any store, just casually go